So this Christmas I got, as a present, two super electronic surprise boxes. You can get them at Electronic Goldmine. I'll put the link in the description below. So let's go over the parts that I harvested. I was going to do one box at a time, but the parts were very similar, so I just thought I'd do them both at the same time and show you what I got. Alright, so first up is the LED type stuff. So I got some of these guys, quite a few actually. They are both red and amber in color, so one lead. There's three leads on this. One is the ground lead, so that'd be the center lead, and one side is red and the other side is orange or amber. Then I got some of these, so I think that's a white and a green, maybe a red and a green. I haven't tested it quite yet, so those are interesting. And I got some red LEDs, and then I got some infrared sensors. They are a 3-leaded device, so they only pick up a certain frequency of infrared, so it's a pulsing infrared signal, so from a remote control type deal. So that's that. And I got a bunch of these, very similar to what you would see in like a network switch or something like that. So you could do this as like a varying level or a timer or something like that, indicating maximum, minimum, and medium. So that'd be up to you. I got a bunch of switching diodes, so good for high frequencies, not great for power, but I am a bit short on those, so that's nice to have. And it also turns out that there are some germanium diodes in here, so it has the 3-volt drop. So that's pretty cool. Alright, moving over. I got a bunch of diodes. These look like some high-powered diodes here. And then I've got some lower-powered diodes. I haven't really looked up the part number yet, but I'm assuming they're capable of withstanding a pretty high inverse peak voltage. And this, to me, was a great winner. A bunch of bridge rectifiers. So there's some smaller ones, then the circular type here, and then some pretty hefty ones here. So those will definitely be nice to have. Alright, moving down. I got a bunch of capacitors. So these are, I believe, 100 nanofarad. As are these. And then I got some ceramic or electrolytic. These are 2,200 microfarad. And then I got a bunch of these, what they call triplets. They are matching capacitors. So they're all around the 27.6 nanofarad range. So I'm sure that'll be nice to have. And here are some strange components which I probably won't use most of. So this is a triple 3-input NAND gate. These are actually CPUs, 16-bit, 12.5 megahertz. So those are nice. And some miscellaneous resistors. Some high-powered ones in here. Good for 7 watts, I believe it was. And they're 1.5K. So a bunch of resistors. Oh, there's also these strange pigtailed LEDs here with a connector on them. So I'll probably end up using the wire and the connector more than I'll use them for the actual LED function. But we'll see in a future project. I'm certain I'll use that. Oh, and I got a bunch of these huge resistors. These ones are 56 ohms. Look like they're capable of something around 5 to 10 watts. And then I got some more over here. These ones aren't as useful, but whatever. They are 0.25 ohms. And it looks like they're capable of 5 watts. And these are all the same component. Looks like I have about 200 of them. They are 10 ohm resistors. So those will be useful to have. And I've got several of these guys as well. They are, looks like 3 ohms. high wattage there, and a bunch of miscellaneous resistors of varying values. And then several of these guys. These are 1.5 ohm resistors. And then the miscellaneous parts here. Got a potentiometer. It's a 5K potentiometer. Looks like some inductors. Some photoresistors. A couple of gears. A nice big inductor here. Some connectors here. Some weird sort of insulation. And then some screws. I'm not sure why they put those in, but maybe they'll be useful. Who knows? And here's another winner in my mind. Got a bunch of headers. So I can connect this to a microcontroller to program it or whatever. So those would definitely be nice to have. And some pretty cool micro switches. They have 3 positions. So those are pretty nice and small, so that'll be useful. Okay. So, more heavy-duty or high-powered resistors. I don't think I've measured this one's resistance, but yeah, looks useful. And then there are these guys. 8 watts and looks like 110 ohms. So, yeah. Alright. Now, these ones I couldn't figure out what the heck they are. They're weird looking things. They're not diodes. So, yeah, not sure what they are. Maybe a fuse, maybe a transorb. Don't think it's a MOV. But, yeah. And then I got a bunch of these ceramic filters. Not sure what their frequency is. I couldn't find a data sheet for that part number. But I'm sure it's not too hard to figure out what the frequency is. And got a bunch of these potentiometers. I believe they're 400 ohm or 500 ohm. 470 ohm potentiometers. And then there are these potentiometers, which are 520. Alright, so moving on from there, I got a 12 volt motor. Looks like it's a pretty hefty motor. It rotates at 5,500 RPM. A beefy relay. This one's capable of 40 amps at 250 volts, so that's a pretty awesome find. A bunch of these switches, which are capable of 10 amps at 250 volts AC. Some piezoelectric headphones, so those are pretty cool to have. A little keychain screwdriver. It's a Phillips type, so that could be useful to put in like a tool bag or laptop bag, who knows. Let's see, what else do we got? There are these, which I believe are some form of transistor. I couldn't find a data sheet or anything for the part number. I'll just do some testing and find out what the configuration is. I assume the case is a pin, and then the other two would be probably the collector and gate, but I'm not sure at this point. And then I got these timers, which goes on forever. Keeps beeping. It's kind of annoying, not really great for a game. So I opened one of them up to see if I could harvest anything from them. If I can get this open. So, what's inside here? I thought I could get maybe a microcontroller out of it, but they didn't do that. They used a shift register and some other components to achieve the delay function. But I got a 9-volt clip, 4 LEDs, some standoffs for the LEDs, a bunch of resistors and ceramic capacitors, and also a little piezoelectric buzzer. So you can definitely harvest those things for later when I determine what project they're good for. So that's nice. And then finally, I have 10 of these flash modules for an old school camera. So they have a large capacitor on there. I believe it charges up to around 300 volts. Transformer. Yeah. So something fun to play with later. You can make a Gauss cannon out of these things as well. So, alright. That wraps it up. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll put the part number for that in the description below. And in case you're wondering, I am still working on my motion sensor for my soldering iron, and I'm pretty close to being done, so stay tuned for that.